Welcome, everybody, to the next episode, very special episode of the People of Pearland. I'm so excited for this one. We have with us a very special guest who always declines my request to do things, at least the first time, and then when I send him around the second time.
Who, Chad Rogers?
No, it's not you, me. Chief Johnny Spires.
Chad never turns on an opportunity to speak somewhere.
No, I'll talk anywhere.
Yeah. He's kind of like me. I've never met a microphone or a camera I didn't like.
I don't even need a microphone.
Yeah, exactly. Just give me a wall to talk to. All right. Sorry, getting distracted. People of Pearland, I'm your host, Josh Lee. We have with us our co-host,
Joe Calderon.
We also have a secondary co-host who's just, nope, she's just sitting here.
She doesn't want
Jasmine's
to be on mic,
sitting in the room. She's just waving her arms like she's not going to do anything. We have another special guest co-host with us.
Officer Chad Rogers.
Our favorite Mr. Rogers.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. And our guest of honor here, Chief
Johnny Lee.
Johnny Lee Spires. We've wanted to have you on the show for a while. We had to kind of rush to do it because you're not long for this industry. You're hanging up your spurs.
Oh, I thought you were going back to a rock song, take these guns away.
No, but you're retiring this year, huh?
I am, but the podcast you want is the one after I retire. That's probably
Yeah. No. We're going to come back for that one.
Are
we going to have to pay you for that? Like, are you going to bill us for
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I bet your retirement rate's going to be way higher than
accommodations, everything, yes.
So, thanks for joining us today. We really do
welcome.
appreciate it. You are a quintessential figure, in my opinion, in the city of Pearland, and we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't take this opportunity to learn from you and to hear more about your history and, all the things we do on this fabulous podcast. So we do appreciate the time today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I do have to tell a quick story. I think I've shared this before, but one of my first interactions, so my second interview with the city, was sitting through a senior staff meeting, and Chief was there. And I think it was after the meeting was over, John Branson was introducing me to people, and he introduced me to Chief, and I shook his hand, and he goes, I was moving down from Dallas, and he goes, Astros or Rangers? And I just locked up. I was like, both.
Wrong answer.
Yeah. No, I know. I meant to say NASCAR. I should have just gone the other direction, but terrifying. So I'm glad you got some enjoyment out of that. But anyways, Johnny Lee, what is that your real name, or is it John or Jonathan?
My real name is Johnny.
Oh, it is Johnny.
It is
Johnny.
Johnny.
That's what's on your birth certificate.
Right. John was my dad. His name was John. And then my son's name is John. I have another son, Shane, and daughter, Alyssa. But obviously my son was named after my dad. They just didn't want the whole John Jr. things. They wanted to start fresh. So Johnny it was.
And John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt was off the table? Because that's what I would do. No, I wouldn't do that. I like Johnny, though. That's a good, it feels like a wholesome name. Do you think it shapes, did you grow into that name, or was it just
I had some nicknames as a kid that was embarrassing for a kid. John. I got called John when I was a kid.
You know what? I have a friend who has a son. He goes by, his nickname is John.
So I was actually happy to grow into Johnny.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. I feel like it's approachable. That's probably the thing that I like about it. It's not, super formal.
Right. That's me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have seen you in Class A's, and you're very handsome, so I know you can pull off both. You find yourself? Do you think you're a pretty casual person?
Oh, for sure. When I'm not working, I mean, I try not to be recognizable.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some pictures out there that probably show up at my retirement. Some of the things that I wear.
Do you think post retirement you're going to be cowboy hat and work shirt all the time, or what's the Johnny vibe post retirement?
Probably not. I do the cowboy hat, at the hunt and lease, and then on vacation I like to wear my cowboy hat. Most of the time for me, just around town, is sweatpants, t-shirt, sweat top if it's the weather's right. Crocs. I hunted all last season. I don't think I ever put boots on. I think I hunted.
You hunted in Crocs the whole time?
Oh yeah, I just love wearing. Yeah,
it's amazing. I pick on some of my hunting friends because of some of the gear that they buy, and I'm like, this isn't like the Outback. We're not like, this isn't a 10-day trek. You don't need 80 pounds worth of gear.
No, if I've elk hunted in Colorado before. That's a whole different thing.
Right.
That's when you need the boots and everything. But the kind of hunting I do is even questionable, if you can call it hunting.
Yeah.
But sitting in a deer blind and all that, I try to stay as comfortable as possible. I do run across where I'm tracking or something too, and then I got my Crocs on and I step on a mesquite thorn and all that, and I'm not happy about that, but still doesn't force me to go put my boots on. I just pay more attention to where I'm at. But I definitely want to be comfortable when I'm not working. So
I growing up, I always felt like we were roughing it hunting more, because now my dad builds these nice giant deer stands big enough for 2 or 3 people to sit in that are all insulated and have space heaters in them. And I'm like, where was this nonsense when I was growing up?
Oh, for sure. I have a heater.
Yeah. You got to have a heater in there.
Yeah.
It's so comfy. Take a little nap on the floor when nothing's moving. You wake up.
I'm not sure I'm really hunting. I think I'm just out there napping most of the time.
I thought I was a hunter, and now my boys they're the ones that do all the shooting, and I just sit and watch.
Sure.
And I honestly think I get as much joy, if not more, just doing that as actually like harvesting animals.
Oh, absolutely.
Less work, and you get to do all the same stuff. And
I cook more than I do anything else out there at this point. Guide, things like that. But actual hunting part, I don't do much of.
So have you been hunting your whole life, or what's the?
No, I actually didn't get into that until, and I'm sure we'll get more of my background. But when I moved to Texas, a guy at work introduced me to hunting. I had heard about it, just never knew what it was really about, and we wound up getting on a lease together, and that was. I think 1996 was the first time I actually had a deer lease. Yeah. So, and then my kids have known nothing but that. I mean, they've been going since they were in diapers. They've been sitting in a deer blind with me almost. Well, they were in diapers when they were sitting in a deer blind with me. That's how long they've been doing it. So
I was raised similarly to your kids. My dad, and my uncle. Naturally got into hunting just on their own. And, they had some mentors along the way that taught them how to do things, but they kind of self-taught. And looking back on it, and I tell my boys this, they're extremely fortunate to have, the patriarchs that they've had to learn these lessons from, because it is really hard to get into, to learn the tricks of the trade.
Sure.
It's an expensive hobby. And I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love, the memories that I have of the places that I had growing up. And then my boys, same thing, have, a place in Rock Springs. That's the only place I've ever hunted.
Yeah,
and,
we're just south of there in Camp Wood.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
Down
about 30
55
miles south. Yeah.
Beautiful part of the state.
Sure.
Probably one of my favorite places in the state of Texas. There's actually like proper hills and stuff down there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of beauty out there, and just sitting outside and being quiet is a real gift, and not enough people do that, I think.
Yeah, those are some of my kids' favorite memories are spending time out there at campfires and riding around on the four-wheelers and go-karts, and obviously sitting in the deer blind. And we happen to be right on the Nueces River, so in the summertime we can go sit in the river and swim
cool
out there. So
because it gets hot out there in the summertime.
It gets very hot. Very hot.
It's interesting to me the memories that they retain. I was actually talking with my younger son. He's 11 now. The first pig he ever shot. It was kind of we got there. It was a spring or summertime, and nothing was working right, and I was frustrated. And we got there at night. The next morning, we were going to go try to shoot him a pig, and he must have been like 6, maybe 7, something like that. He was all gung ho, And we got up in the morning, got up late, which is fine. We're just shooting pigs. But we go down to my deer stand. The pigs are already out there. And so rather than trying to get in the stand and unlock everything and yada, 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 I'm like, all right, you're just going to have to shoot it freehand. And my other son is walking around behind us, and the pigs are just staring at him. And I'm like, bro, you got to get – so all this – and the 11-year-old, or Henry, the one who was going to shoot the pig, he couldn't get the gun lined up because he never shot freehand before. And so he's getting frustrated, and I'm getting frustrated. And then he starts crying because he thinks he's going to miss the pig. And we end up sneaking under my stand, and we get embraced, and he gets a pig. And so I remember it as this whole thing where, like, I could have done so many things better.
Sure.
And we talked about it just the other day, and he was like, "Oh man, that was awesome! Like I got my first pig," and I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Like why have I been like it sticks in my mind frequently, and yet just the good things kind of come out of it."
Yeah, there's a lot of lessons out there. I mean, firearm safety obviously is a big one. Learning how to fire out there, getting up before the sun comes up. You know, I had one of my friend's dads would come out there, and you know he would say it's good for young hunters to learn to get up in the morning and have, you know, a goal, somewhere to go. Prepares them for going to school. You know, if they want to get up early, they got to go to school, for work and all that, rather than sleeping in and playing video games and all that. They actually learn how to be out there. We actually process our own meat also.
Wow!
So they've been through all of it, from taking the game and taking it home and processing it and preparing it for meals. And so
I think it is a really fulfilling experience to go from, you know, a living animal to food on the table, and to be involved in that entire process. And one that we certainly don't take lightly. And, you know, it's such a small piece of it too. I mean, the overarching experience, like you said, you know, riding around on the 4-wheelers and even teaching them safety with that too. But, you know, how to look for snakes and how to walk quietly. And I mean, there's, you know, boundless opportunities to
learn how to drive a stick shift. You know, the vehicle out there is manual, so they all learned how to drive a manual. I mean, everything.
I learned on a 49 Army Jeep that we still have to this day.
That's cool.
We bought it for $1,300 in 1993. I mean, so many people have learned how to drive because you can't break it.
Right.
It's impossible. Doesn't run great. It's terrifying. Doesn't have any seatbelts, but you can't go fast enough to really hurt yourself.
Right.
Yeah, there's some really fond memories in being able to do things like that. Again, though, very expensive, very time consuming. I don't know how your drive is to Camp Wood, but Rock Springs is far, far, far.
It's about 5.5 hours, 6 hours if you got to make a couple of stops.
Yeah. We're about the same. We can make it in a little over 5.5 if I'm, you know, if we're not stopping a lot and really moving.
I don't even think about it anymore. I don't mind driving to begin with. I like road trips, and then I know where I'm going, and I know I'm going to have a great time when I get there. So the drive doesn't bother me at all. I going out that way especially, and I've taken a number of different routes to get out there. Usually now I cut off in Kerrville and take back roads the rest of the way. But it's a fantastic part of the country. We are you're going to be retired by this point, so maybe this summer, the last weekend in June. Oh, maybe you won't be retired. Anyways, the Slick Rock Challenge is going on in Rock Springs. Professional bull riding. It is a fantastic time. It's a great little rodeo. Cool.
So we'll need to get you out there. You come by the ranch and
sounds good.
We'll hang out and all that good stuff. Chad, you're so quiet over there.
I just don't know why I didn't get invited.
I hadn't gotten there
there's like a whole
yet.
room full of people that were not invited.
Man.
Right.
Must be nice.
Right,
the
so
retired chief.
We got to go back because you said something brought you to Texas, so we got to get the Johnny backstory.
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Okay.
It was
when did you move to Texas?
I think it was about 1985. So my dad was career Navy, and so we moved a lot. And the last place we lived was Great Lakes, Illinois, which is North Chicago. It's actually a little city up there called North Chicago, and Great Lakes are kind of intertwined. And he retired. That's where he retired. We moved to a small town in Indiana. It's where I finished my last 2 years of high school, Knox, Indiana. And then I had family here in Pearland. So I think it was right before I graduated or right after I graduated, I came down here to visit my aunt and uncle who actually lived in Pearland, literally about a mile from where I live right now.
Wow, that's crazy.
Went to stay with them for a little while, visit, vacationed, and I love the town. I love the atmosphere. I have other family and cousins and everything down here, so I wasn't coming down here alone. So after I graduated, I decided, you know what, I'm going to Texas. My dad wanted me to go in the Navy. I wish I would have now. It's one of those things you look back on and wish you would have done.
Really? But
as a teenager, you're not your head's not developed yet, so you're not making the best decisions. Yeah. I mean, it worked out in the long run, but I look back now and I wish I would have went in for the 4 years at least, because it's one of those things where he served his country. All my uncles did. Actually, my sons wound up doing it. John went to the Marines, and when he got out of high school, Shane went into the Army. And I'm like, you know what? It skipped a generation, so I wish I would have done that. But in my mind at the time, I thought I was already in the Navy my whole life because I lived on the Navy bases, and we spent a lot of time. I've been around nothing but military people, and I'm like, I feel like I've been in the Navy my whole life, so I'm going to Texas. And so that's what I did. I came down here.
I have a similar feeling about Eagle Scouts because my dad, my uncle, my cousin are all Eagle Scouts, and I am not.
Right.
And it comes up, like people see their Eagle Scout belt buckles, and it's always oh, you're an Eagle Scout. Well, the three of us are. He's not.
Right.
But I had an Eagle Scout for a dad, so
sure.
I learned,
everything they knew, right?
How to tie a tourniquet and all that, how to start a fire, all that good stuff. Yeah. Anyways, so you didn't go to the Navy. You came here instead.
Came here instead, yes. My plan, I had another uncle that had a heavy equipment company, and I was hoping to get, learn how to operate cranes and work on cranes, stuff like that. That was kind of was in my mind when I came down
what
here.
18-year-old doesn't want to?
Right. I mean, 60-year-old wants to do it still also, by the way. Yeah. It'd be a retirement gig.
I mean, yeah.
But that didn't work out, so I wound up starting going to college in Alvin, and actually working right across the street here. There used to be a grocery store called Mini Max right here at Liberty and Broadway. Oh, yeah. And I worked there stocking groceries, unloading trucks while I was going to school in Alvin.
Wow.
So I actually watched them build City Hall.
Really?
Yeah. I can still remember seeing the beams go up. So I'm out there unloading trucks. Had no idea what the future would bring.
I was going to say, so at the time, you couldn't have pictured that you'd be sitting where the chamber used to be?
No, I had no idea. I didn't even have law enforcement in my mind at the time.
Really?
That was.
What were you going to do? What was you going to be a banker? Or something?
I had no, definitely was not going to be a banker. If you see my math grades in high school, no, I didn't really have a plan. I was just taking some basic courses, but I took an elective. I saw, they have the list of courses you can take, and I saw intro to criminal justice. Really didn't know much about it, but I thought, you know what, I need to fill a gap here, so I took the class, and I walked into that class and walked out after one class and said, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
I want to be in law enforcement. I want to be a police officer. I don't know what, something in there, a switch went off, something clicked, and I never looked back from that night. So.
That's amazing. What do you think it is about the attraction to law enforcement? Is it the community building piece of it? Is it the you enjoy keeping people safe, or what do you think?
I'm not sure. I'm sure to be honest, most officers probably don't get into it thinking I want the community building part of it. They look in the crime fighting part.
Sure.
We want to chase crooks down.
Chasing people, yeah.
Sure. So I'm not sure. I'm sure it wasn't the community building part, at first. That's something that develops later when you know how important it is.
When your prefrontal cortex finally develops you.
Right, but it was definitely the just looking ahead of what I could do. I'd always looked up to police officers. Never really had any encounters. Didn't have any mentors that were police officers. But it's just the excitement of it. I'm
Yeah.
like, this could be a lot of fun. And something in that night told me this could be a lot of fun.
So how was it getting into the Pearland Police Department? Did you just like walk in and fill out an application or?
No, well, they advertised. I'm sure I saw it in the paper, as I was going through the academy.
Jasmine, a newspaper.
Yes.
Sorry, just kidding.
Actually, I went to the academy in Fort Bend County. They had a program because I wasn't making any money at the time, and they had grants to send people to the academy, and I applied and got a grant.
Nice.
And didn't have a sponsor or anything. I didn't have a job, just going through the academy.
Wow.
And then I knew Pearland was hiring, and I lived here, so
Makes sense. Short commute.
Do you
Right.
remember what the starting pay was?
I remember my first paycheck was $10.50 an hour. Yeah,
An hour.
An hour.
an hour.
That's
I still have
pretty
that
good money
paycheck.
back then. I mean,
It was more than twice what I was making. I promise you that. Yes, I thought I had hit the lottery for sure.
Yeah.
I did hit the lottery.
who was your field training officer? I mean, would we know them? Were they?
You might know Pam Anderson. She retired from us a few years ago. Her husband Keith Anderson has been one of our chaplains for 30 years, but he was actually an officer also at one point. So a guy named Charlie Rosser was another one of my FTOs. Sonny Atkins wasn't an official FTO, but I did ride with him a little bit. Taught me how to be grumpy. Just kidding, Sonny. 'Cause I know he'll be listening.
He doesn't know what a podcast is.
Somebody's going to take it to him. Though. Say, hey, listen to what the chief said about you. So, and back then, just all the senior officers were pretty much FTOs. They weren't shy about telling you things that you needed to hear sometimes.
How many sworn officers were there at that time?
I'm not sure. I think 25 or 30.
Yeah,
when I
'cause we were
started. So that was
quite a bit smaller
89,
back
end of
then.
89.
And when you signed on, it was just you. There wasn't a.
It was just me.
Yep.
Yeah, they had one opening. And
Wow.
they had one opening.
Was Ron already here, or was he?
No,
after
Ron
you?
came. I think Ron started in 91.
Okay.
So a little over a year later. There was two hired about 3 or 4 months after me. They came in, Wayne Moody and Bill Wagner. So,
And when you joined, did you immediately know you were going to be the chief of police someday? Or?
I did not want anything to do with the chief of police or the position or anything. No, I love night shift.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's where all the action is.
That and for sure. I mean, that's if you're on days, you're probably taking a lot of reports, and a young officer needs to be on night shift. Mm-hmm. They need to have that experience for sure, dealing with the drunks and family violence calls and trying to catch crooks and all that kind of stuff. It happens on every shift, but it happens a lot more on night shift for the most part.
Yeah.
So no, I definitely enjoyed that because that at the time that's where all the action was, but I also liked it's summertime. It's cooler at night, a lot less traffic, and a lot less admin around. To be honest with you, so I'm not joking. That was part of my reason too. They never did anything to me negatively. I just
Yeah.
cops don't want to be around
Just
chiefs.
stay out of the way. Yeah. I guess as long as you're, doing the thing and they're not
Yeah.
getting calls in the middle of the night.
I was definitely called. Woke up, in the middle of my night, which their day, you need to come up to the station. We got to talk to you.
Oh,
Happened
man.
a couple of times.
Oh man.
What'd your parents think about your decision to go into law enforcement?
Oh, they were very happy with it. They were very happy with it. I'm sure my dad, paramilitary type thing. He was proud of that part, and so yeah, I had full support from them from day one.
I know sometimes moms, get a little
Worry.
more protective on things like that. So how was your mom about it?
She was fine. Yeah. She never. I know she had concerns and worries and things like that, but she was just very proud of what I was doing. So.
And so you've obviously done a bunch of different jobs within the police department. What do you think what's the most memorable, or what's the one that had the most impact on you?
Oh my goodness! It just depends on where you're at in your career and in your life. I think because every part of it was very important. Learning in the beginning. My first job as a supervisor, they had corporals back then. So I got promoted to corporal, which is like our sergeant position now. It's your first line supervisor in 1993. So I had about 4 years.
Promoted quick?
Yeah, pretty quick. And then sergeant a few years after that. And then I kind of skipped a rank and went from sergeant to assistant chief. So that's a long backstory, but
do tell.
Well, we don't have enough time. So that was a major jump, obviously.
Yeah.
The department was obviously a lot smaller, but there's still, the department was growing rapidly at the time. That was in the end of 98, 99. So that's when we really started booming in Pearland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And was the structure, because the way it has been in recent years in the police department, you can hire entry-level officers from outside or the police chief from outside, but everybody else is an internal promotion, correct?
Right.
Was
that's
it like
civil
that
service?
back then?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, that's it. Because we're civil service, that's the way it's done.
I see. Okay, gotcha. And how is that, obviously you all build real close relationships because you all, work through some pretty horrible things together, but also, you've got to respond to things together. When you go from everybody's a patrol officer to now you're their supervisor, is that a hard transition or,
Yes, it is. Because one minute, you're working together on the shift and, going to calls with each other. And the next minute, now you're their supervisor. And now you should have this sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
I've always said it when I'm promoting somebody, you raise your right hand, you took an oath to protect the public. Obviously you still have to do that as a supervisor, but now you're just taking on more of a debt. Now you have to take care of the people on your shift or the people under your command. Kind of like having, your children,
right.
For lack of a better term. You care about them, you want them to succeed and do better. But when you first promote, you're the same age, usually about the same age as everybody, almost same experience, or obviously you might be, because I kind of promoted early, there's more senior officers now, all of a sudden you're their supervisor, so there's a little bit of there where you have to tread lightly.
Sure.
So it's tough to get your feet underneath you and try not to move too fast and that authority go to your head too fast and try to learn from them because you're still learning yourself, and just remember that you're there for the responsibility part and not you don't really have to be a boss. You have to be there to make sure they're making good decisions, to look out for them.
Yeah.
And so that's tough at the beginning because you know everybody very personally. It's a little bit easier as you get older. Because now they're looking at you like, okay, you've been doing this a while, and some might think you know what you're doing. They know you don't know what you're doing when you first start. But these the people I promote now, or the people that I hire now, are younger than my kids.
Right.
Most of the time. So it's a different approach. The more you move up, the more experience you get. But it's a tough transition for sure.
I just the first time it really clicked with me was. When you or Ron would talk about like the game of leapfrog that y'all played.
Sure.
Ron Frazier, our recently retired assistant city manager or deputy city manager for those listening at home. Before that was a assistant police chief. So, his last job for the PD, he worked for Johnny, and then he became Johnny's boss when he moved over to City Hall. Yeah.
So just a little bit on that. I always talk about how your power and authority are temporary.
Right.
Be careful how you treat people.
Yeah.
Because one day, they may
could
have
be
their
working
power and authority over you. It goes back. I used to teach in the police academy, and now some of those people, some of my students are chiefs in other cities.
Wow.
So you think they remember how I treated them?
Sure.
I had power and authority over them in the classroom.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with Ron. I was one of Ron's FTOs, so I had power and authority over him at that point.
Yeah.
Well, he promoted even before I did.
Oh.
So now all of a sudden he's my boss. He's my corporal. And then I promoted over him for a while. And then he promoted, and it just went back and forth until he just trumped me by going to City Hall. He was one of my assistant chiefs for years and took good care of me. But he went to City Hall, assistant city manager over public safety. So now he's my boss again. And so you got to be careful how you treat people.
Right.
You got to be careful.
For sure. I'm also always impressed by. I've met a number of police officers who. I mean, that's what they want to do. Officer Ellinger is a great example. When we had her on the podcast, she's a canine officer at the time. And I asked her, I was like, so you're going to be a chief one day? And she's like, nope, just want to be a canine officer. And, that certainty, I think, unlocks the opportunity to be that much better at what you do because you lean wholly into it. It seems like in law enforcement, that's I don't know. The officers I get to work with have that sort of level of commitment, I guess. And it's really nice.
It's a good segue. You tell a story about when you first started here, the pride that officers had and the court appearances and stuff.
For sure. Actually, when I came in for my first day of training, I was met by my FTO, and just the excitement that he was showing about his job and the passion he had for the job. And one of the first things he said is, come on, let's go have some fun. And we went straight out into the cars and started making a few traffic stops. I was just watching him. I wasn't doing anything at the time. And he just looked at me after a couple of traffic stops and said, I can't believe they pay me to have this much fun. I mean, he'd been doing it for quite a while at the time, and he was just so excited about his job that, that really had an impression on me. And then, early in my career, I would see how the senior officers, would treat the younger officers, and, there was always some, lack of better terms, some hazing every now and then, or putting people in their place when they needed to be. Yeah. But also the pride that they had in their department. I remember, or in our department, I was sitting in roll call, and I was a new officer. I think I was off training, but there was a robbery or something that had happened before I started working there. Just went to trial, and they got a conviction on it. But a lot of people in the department were involved in that trial, and a lot of people had to go testify. I can't remember all the details, but the senior officer walked in, no rank or anything, and just talked about how proud he was of everybody that was down at the courthouse, how sharp they looked, how professional they looked, how they all testified professionally, and compliments from the district attorney's office, on how they handled themselves. And I'm like, you know what, Pearland takes a lot of pride in what they do. Yeah. And so that had an impression on me, and it made me want to continue that also.
Yeah. Well, in the I think it's pretty clear, and especially in the police department, the mentor-mentee, the natural occurrance of that. And this goes back to our hunting conversation. I think I'm much more aware of it now than I was when I was not aware of it when I was young. But now that I have my own kids and I hear myself saying the things that my mentors said to me, those valuable life lessons and just little observations and the things that when I'm acting a fool, they would say, hey,
right,
kick you back in the right direction. Right.
Yep.
And now, I mean, as a mentor, and I mean, I know you are too, the importance of having a trusted individual, preferably one with different set of experiences and more experiences than you, that can help you move in a direction is so invaluable. So I can imagine that the police department can be a good place, especially back then with like the old timers and, quote unquote old timers.
Sure. I mean, police officers generally aren't very shy, so they're definitely going to tell you what they're thinking. So you learn those lessons early. Yeah. And it's things you remember and you try to pass on. One thing that was, or a lot of things, but one of the things that was really passed on too was and we talked about earlier, the community service part of police work and how important that is. And, I talk about that a lot with our citizens, we're partners in this. Yeah. We're partners in this, and keeping our community safe. and having that relationship and the trust from our community allows us to do our job, especially these days because there's so much technology out there that
Sure.
we use to solve crimes. The public has to trust us with that technology.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen overnight. That's something that was instilled in me from day one, and I've done
And
a
it's
lot.
not static either. I mean,
No.
it's constantly changing
It's always changing, and it's something you can lose
in an instant.
In an instant. So,
Yeah.
the mentoring, I've done a lot of that with the kids throughout the years. Way back with basketball programs in the 90s, the Rise mentoring now that we do. I mean, that's all part of it, building relationships with these, especially the kids. They're the ones that are going to have power and authority over us one day. That might be an officer one day that pulls me over.
When I got here to the city of Pearland for work, I mean, I'm from here originally, but when I came to work here, one of the earlier lunch meetings I had, getting to know the different people in the community, was Kim Hocott, who was the Director of Communications for Pearland Independent School District. And one of the very first things that she said was, you need to be a RISE mentor. Mm-hmm. And so RISE is a mentoring program through the school district, started by their superintendent at the time, blanking on his name. Anyways, something he brought from the city of Bernie.
Dr. Kelly, I think.
Dr. Kelly, that's right. Thank you. And set it up as a program within the organization. And you just meet with a student for 30 minutes a week to be a persistent and positive presence in their lives. And for some reason, when Kim said it, it just, it struck me that was a good investment for my time, self-servingly, but also, an opportunity to pour into the community. And I didn't realize at the time, but I've been seeing more, maybe I'm just more attentive to it now, the pandemic that we face with young men, especially, who are struggling because they don't have that positive male influence.
Right.
And the byproduct that leads to when they don't have that. And the solution is time and attention.
Time and attention, yeah. Shout out to Mandy, by the way.
Yeah. Talk about, I I could sit and listen to Mandy talk literally for hours. Mandy Benedict is
she's built that program, and it's awesome.
I don't know how she runs there's over 550-ish partner matches between mentors and students in the district, and her and one other person manage that whole thing. Yeah, and
she'll tell you they need mentors, especially for young men.
Especially men. Yep.
Every
they have a waiting list.
Anybody interested in doing that, contact Mandy and get on board.
Shameless plug for Rise Mentoring. Everybody get into it.
Not shameless.
Good stuff. Not shameless. Yeah, no. It's a fantastic program. But
speaking of mentors, looking back at your different stages at PD, who was an inspiration to you? Who kind of inspired you through the way, gave you some life lessons throughout your time?
Well, I mean, you got to start with your parents. You got to start with your parents. Like I said, my dad was career Navy, so obviously very proud of that. But he was gone a lot. When you're in the Navy, you go on these cruises, and they're gone for months at a time. And then even when you're in port, you're pulling duty and stuff like that. So my mom was huge. So I might get a little emotional here for a minute.
Yeah,
that's okay. This is
they're both passed now. So my mom had me when she was 16.
Wow.
So people got married younger back then, obviously.
Yeah.
And my dad was already in the Navy when they got married, and so he was stationed overseas, and she had to take me as an infant, 16, maybe 17 years old, and travel around the world.
Golly.
And go to Spain. So I actually lived in Spain as a baby for a little while, long enough to where I started speaking Spanish before I did English. And then anytime we moved, we lived in Scotland, Charleston, South Carolina, Washington State. So we moved around a lot. But it was my mom and me for until my brother and sister came along, and then it was all four of us. My dad was there, but obviously he had this career, and so she taught me a lot, just how to be resilient. She was very service minded You know, as
That's
far
amazing.
as taking care. She spent her whole life taking care of. Well, not her whole life. She was actually in politics for a little while, but then towards the end, she was till the last day. She was serving others, the elderly in her neighborhood, and cooking for them and helping them out and taking them places and things like that. So she's always had this service heart. And then, my dad was the same way. My dad was one of those guys. I think all men back then were. They could fix anything.
Yeah.
You didn't call repairmen back then. You did it yourself. But he would help anybody do anything at any time. And, it wouldn't be nothing on the weekends for somebody to bring their car over and him work on that. But and he knew air conditioning, and that was his livelihood for a while out of the Navy. But both of them very service oriented, very, just don't turn people away.
Yeah.
And help everybody you can.
And I mean, clearly have some aptitude. I'm remembering myself as a 16-year-old, and I could barely tie my own shoes. Like, I can't imagine raising children.
Yeah,
she
tells
at
the
my age, I'm
story
still
of
terrified by it.
just going over there by herself and just having this infant baby, and that had to be tough. And that wasn't the first trip,
Yeah.
Just added on later when my sister came along, and then,
man. Yeah.
so my brother, so.
God.
And then he, when he was gone, she was raising us and getting us to school and everything you got to do as a parent.
Yeah.
And it was like, just imagine how tough that would be.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So did you have kids when you were younger too, or did you
No,
take
I
that
was
experience?
a little older. My daughter was born in '93, so I think I was 26.
Okay, yeah, so still on the
Yeah,
youngish side.
yeah. So yeah, but not 16 or 17.
Right.
I still wasn't. My mom was more mature than I was at 17. Than I was at 20 something. So
Boys mature later.
yes, that's what they tell us.
Yeah.
That's what they tell us.
My dad always. My sister was born when he was 22, and I was when he was 24. And I'm like, and he owned his own business, and I'm like, I couldn't. That all stresses me out just thinking about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I guess it's all relative. And at the same time, I'm always impressed when I hear stories about people overcoming. I mean, just life, generally speaking, and being all the better for it. It makes me a little jealous.
Sure.
In an inspiring way.
But back to the mentors. Obviously, those are my first two mentors,
Yep.
and then just a lot of the senior officers. I start naming their names. I'm going to get a phone call from the one I didn't. But even the ones that were hard on me. But probably Chief Doyle was probably the biggest, and I've told the story before. Even though he was a senior officer, and back then, a lot of the officer safety stuff that we do now wasn't present back then. We learned the hard way, and not everybody wore a vest back then. We got a vest when I started,
Right.
but you didn't have to wear it. It was your choice. But I walked into work that first day, and I thought I was just going to be doing administrative stuff, and I wasn't wearing my vest, and he noticed it. And he said something right then, and I never did not wear my vest.
Yeah.
Really?
Again, without
Yeah.
a uniform on,
Man.
or with my uniform.
Yeah.
I guess because
So-
you never know when you're gonna.
Yeah, I mean,
Get a
you got
call.
it. You're still. Are you? And I think he said, "Are you going to go to lunch?"
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to go. Okay. Well, you look like a cop right now, so
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when, and he was a little bit more abrupt than that. But and he was a sergeant of the FTO program, so he was up to date on all the training and things like that, and just watching him throughout the years. And then obviously when he was chief, I was his assistant chief for 18 years.
Whoa.
So just watching him, all those years. And,
Wow.
I mean, he'll tell you that, through the mistakes, we learned a lot of things together,
Yeah.
and just a great mentor to have. Very, very wise, very slow, very methodical. If you wanted a quick decision, you weren't going to get it. So you might as well just be patient and wait. He'll give you a decision, but it wasn't going to be fast. And but that kept us moving in the right direction for a long time. I mean, when he was chief is when we had all our growth in Pearland, or most of it,
Yeah.
and especially in the late 2000s and things like that. But when everything was being built out west, and we were just hiring officers, 6, 8 at a time a year, which is a lot to train and get
Sure.
on the street. And just through all that, and even after, he retired and I was chief, I remember calling him, within a few months and saying, how did you do this for 18 years? Because in my mind, I thought I was ready. I've been watching, and helping him make decisions for all those years. So I thought when I sat in that chair, it really wouldn't be that big of a transition. Well, it absolutely 100% was a different transition.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
I mean,
and I asked him why you didn't warn me. He said, "There's no way you can.
Right.
You just got to sit there and go through it." So
how long have you been chief now?
June 1st will be 9 years.
Wow.
9 years.
Wow.
And how long with the City of Pearland Police Department?
That'll be 36 years and 8 months.
Golly.
So,
What a career. That's amazing.
yes, I don't know if anybody in here is even that old,
I'm-
except for you and
I'm
Chicago.
36, so that's your entire career was.
Right.
So what was the secret to making it through 36 years?
Oh, man. A lot of luck. A lot of good luck. I mean, life is about luck sometimes.
It is. That's
being in
true.
the right place at the right time, and then just having solid people around you. And I'll start from when I was chief. I had, Ron and Chad, was my assistant chiefs and great command staff underneath that. And if you don't have that kind of support and those people backing you up every single day, you'll drown trying to do it all.
Yeah.
There's no way you can do it all. And just trying to get their advice, and whether you take it or not, it's their job to give it to you, good or bad. Any kind of presentations I do and they're around, they are required to give me solid feedback, whether I like it or not. You could have done this better. Yeah, that was okay. You got to be prepared to hear that. And if you don't have people that are going to be honest with you, then you're not going to last very long. In a leadership position like that, and you'll get eaten alive. You have to be able to take that advice and that feedback and
They
roll
don't
with it.
just give you that honesty because you're chief. I mean, you got to build that, cultivate it over time.
Yeah, and of course I have some friends that in the department too that never wanted to promote, so they didn't. And, they had their own career path, and they're very honest with me also, which is good. I'll get phone calls or texts, about stuff, and I'll even reach out to them.
All right. Did you hear that on the thing? Yeah.
It's
It's
a lot.
thundering.
I didn't realize we had the
Thunder
sound
outside.
effects.
I know.
fired
It
up.
was
That
good.
was pretty cool.
This building's haunted.
But I'm not afraid to reach out to them and run things by them. In fact, I did that just today.
Yeah.
Really?
I absolutely did. I called somebody today and asked their opinion on something, and somebody that I trust and something going on. I'm like, I need some. Even though I'm leaving in a few weeks, I'm still trying to make a good decision before I go out the door. Sometimes I do, and some people tell you sometimes I don't. But I always try, and it's not just I don't. It just come from me. I try to get advice from. I mean, like I said, I know chiefs in other jurisdictions. And sometimes I'll call them and run things by them, and they'll run things by me, and all that. You can't do this alone. So
Right.
I got friends also that aren't in law enforcement. I got family that I lean on a lot. So it's not just about rank; it's just about people that trust you, and you trust them to give you honest feedback. And that's how I've been able to do it. Just having those people in my life that aren't afraid to be honest with me and tell me when they think I'm doing something wrong. And sometimes that's tough because in your mind, you think you're doing something right.
Sure.
But you got to hear that, and you got to hear from somebody else. And I've had a lot of arguments over the years. I'm not saying I take it all well,
You're still a human being.
but that's just a natural progression of. I mean, one sitting right here, Chad Rogers. I trust him to be my PIO. I'm not the kind of chief, and there's nothing wrong with these chiefs if that's what you want to do. But I'm not the kind of chief that's got to be on Facebook every day or follow the news cameras around and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're the face of the department. Just not my style. That wasn't Doyle's style, and I probably got a lot of that from him.
Yeah.
If you need me out front, if there's something very critical going on and they need to see the chief, then I'll do that, and I can do that. But for the most part, the day-to-day stuff, I have to depend on somebody that can speak for me and know they're going to do that a lot of trust in that person to do that. And, you know, Chad does that every day for me. So far it's worked out for us.
Yeah.
But
There's still time. There's still time to screw it up, Chad.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the confidence.
We believe in you. So I mean, it sounds like obviously you still have mentors from a bunch of different directions.
you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
To provide that.
Doesn't
clarity.
matter how old you are or how much experience you have. You're not, you know, it's a cliche, but it's very true. You're not going to know everything, and if you close your mind and think you do, your days are limited.
Yeah.
I
Everybody's
promise you
got
that.
blind spots.
Sure.
And if you're not willing to have people expose those for you,
Right.
then you're not.
And of course, I have a wife that keeps me grounded too.
Oh yeah, no, that's that's a good one to have.
Yes.
What is after life after being a cop for 36 years? What does that look like? What do you? I mean, I know you're going to wear sweatpants everywhere, but you know,
There's a couple of things I want. You know,
you going to take up whittling or? I mean,
no, not whittling. You know, I have a love for basketball. You know, like I said, I did some coaching for some kids in town. Never anything formal. We used to play a lot of basketball on Monday nights, you know, with all the officers and people we'd invite. So we had a lot of basketball games, a lot of camaraderie back then. But I think I have one more shot at making the NBA.
Hey, I'm down for it.
I'm not looking for a starting job. I'm not looking for maybe just a 10-day contract.
Yeah.
You know, I understand I'm not as fast as I used to be, but I can still shoot a little bit. If they leave me open, it's over. So,
all day.
Maybe
Just
you have
draining
some college eligibility left with these
Yeah.
NIL deals.
Yeah.
You can go to college and
so I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been going to the rec center, doing a little shooting. Y'all
Johnny
laughing.
Threes.
Johnny
threes.
Actually, we used to, Toys for Tots games that we did for many years. We used to do a Toys for Tots game, and we would it would either the fire department or school factory or Alvin PD or Pasadena PD. We would pick different opponents every year, and play them. The entry to get in was a toy. So we helped the Marine Corps Reserves raise toys every year for kids in our community, distribute them through our Pearland Neighborhood Center every year. So since I think that was 1993 was our first one.
Wow.
We did the game for 20 years, and we kind of took the game out and just did the fundraising after that. But those games were a lot of fun, sometimes very competitive. I think Ron Frazier got kicked out of one time. Out of a charity game, which is cool.
I think I've seen some photos from those.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
I can't picture Ron getting kicked out of anything.
Oh no, Ron gets very emotional on the basketball court.
He's so like even keel all the
Yeah,
time.
he's not. Not when it comes to that. And none of us are actually. You know, we're all cops, so we have that trigger.
Yeah.
You know,
especially when you're like playing against firefighters.
Yeah,
potentially.
especially, you know, those weren't bad. It was playing other cops. It was playing other cops. It probably got more. And then if they were good at all, that upset us because we were not good at all. So we had a couple guys that could play a little bit, but for the most part, we were horrible.
Oh, man.
But
So you're gonna
I'm trying to remember where I was going with that.
Life after.
Oh yeah, so the whole thing about the Rockets. Yeah, they haven't been calling me back, but that's all right. But and then I thought about doing a podcast.
I would listen to every single episode of that all day long. What are you going to talk about? What's it?
Basketball.
Yeah,
Basketball. Yeah, how horrible we used to be. Yeah. Oh no, I know what I was going to say. Actually, at the halftime at the Toys for Tots games, they would have a 3-point contest.
Oh,
cool.
Yes, I say they. I organize these games for the most part, and I actually won that a couple of times. So I gave myself a plaque. I don't know where they're at now. I need a phone.
Fine, we'll put it in here.
But we had a lot of fun in those games, and there's a lot of pictures, a lot of evidence of it. But
yeah, I think we have quite a few of those in our somewhere.
Yes.
And I, you know, when somebody retires that we used to play ball with, I'll make fun of them about how horrible they were. And but the fact is, we all were. Probably the most fundamentally sound player was Mike Vance.
Really?
Mike Vance is an athlete. Yeah. Captain Vance is an athlete. Yeah, you wouldn't know it, but he actually is. he's a steward of the game. I mean, he couldn't stand the way we played because we were,
Too casual.
a little bit too casual. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But he was fun to play with because he's low key. I never seen him get mad.
Really?
I
Yeah,
tried.
okay.
Trust me, I tried to get him mad. Because when you're not good, you talk a lot. So I talked a lot. But those games, we had a lot of fun.
Oh,
That
that's
was our
amazing.
workout program back then.
That's good. We should fire that back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't play basketball to save my life.
No,
but
there'd be too many injuries.
Too many injuries?
Yeah.
wait till everybody else retires.
Yeah.
There's a rumor you may be making a cookbook.
So that part is actually true. And not a cookbook like that probably gets sold very often. But, we talked about the deer lease.
Yeah.
And,
How
my
much you
kids-
cook? Yeah, what do you cook there?
I cook a lot of stuff out there. And, nothing healthy, obviously. There's no
Obviously.
vegetables in my cookbook. Nobody likes vegetables, or they shouldn't. And but I want to kind of put those in a time capsule for the kids and grandkids.
Oh, cool.
And all the kids that I've taken a lot of kids out there over the years and introduced them to hunting, so they all know about they all want my beans, they all want some of the pork chops and the different things that I would cook out there.
Dang, I wanna
so
go
I
out
kind of
there
want
now.
to put that all in one spot and preserve that recipe and add some pictures, because I take a lot of pictures. And even before we had phones, cameras on our phones, I always carried a camera every hunting trip. Not just every hunting trip, every trip to the deer blind, I took a camera.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
So I have thousands of pictures of the kids growing up.
Very cool.
So that'd be in the book. And then we had other guys on the lease that, had their specialties too. So I'll have some guest recipes from each one of them. And so I think it'd be a good time capsule for the kids to look back on one day.
That sounds amazing. I'd buy a copy of that book, just FYI.
Yeah, I'll put it out there, see how much I can get for
That'd
it.
be awesome.
I think it's a good one.
Straight off over here.
Trading off. Yeah. Sorry, we're doing a little switcheroo on the producering. Kathleen's going to try to sneak out of the room without knocking everything
You're gonna
over.
fall. You're gonna trip.
And she's halfway there.
I didn't want to be in this building when it was raining and storming, so I'm glad it
Yeah. You know
worked out the way it
I
did.
feel like I'm in a camper.
So for the podcast listeners, because you obviously can't see it, we are in our podcast studio in the historic train depot, which we just moved into a week ago. And we moved in on a week when it was storming all week, and it is really nice. I don't know why. It's really nice in this building in the rain.
It's very
just-
soothing. Like I said, it's like being in a camper. It's
It
just-
is.
It's the big windows. Just to be
Yeah,
able to just,
lots of really natural light. The high ceilings, because the building was built in 1900.
No, this place is cool. You have the best office in town. I promise you that.
Yeah, we were. It was interesting how it came about, but my team we were so excited to be in such a unique space and needed the space, so it just kind of worked out really naturally. But this is a nice cozy little spot to have a chat.
Yeah. Yep. It's been a fun week. I'm happy to officially be in the building.
Yeah.
Like living, computers are on and everything.
It
And
took a minute to get us settled. I mean, to get us in here.
Yeah.
But then, as soon as we were in here, it kind of you get to really start to see the vision of it coming together.
So am I the first podcast in here?
With
Officially,
us
yeah.
moved in here, yeah.
Oh, nice.
We sure are.
That's cool.
I didn't even think about that.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Put my picture on the wall somewhere.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yes. We should have
That's
everybody
We
actually
sign
should
that.
have-
Yeah, that's
Yep.
a good idea.
Dang
Oh,
it.
Everyone
All
who's
right.
been in a podcast.
That
gets-
is
Stick
Yeah,
an
sign the
autograph.
door or something. That's cool.
We'll just start putting them up on the walls. I
It-
love
it-
that idea.
I say that because I have a shop, at my house. It's a big, it has some big walls, and they're filled with probably thousands of pictures,
Really?
snapshots for kids growing up and just vacations and family and everything else, and it's mesmerizing for people to walk in and just stare at all the pictures
Yeah.
and get the stories behind all of them. And even my kids that watch me put every one of those up and have been looking at them for years, they still stand there and look at it and say, hey, I remember that. I
Oh, that's
remember
cool.
this. And I really encourage, especially the officers, you talk about the good old days. These are the good old days.
Yeah.
Take the picture now. You
Yeah.
may not think it's anything. I've taken pictures of us and our command staff, and 10 years from now, I'll be, okay, was cool. You know, back then having those command staff meetings, no matter what it is, I had a lot of pictures back in the day from different scenes I was on, and taking pictures, kind of action shots of officers out there, and just keeping those. It's right now it may not mean that much to you, but one day you're going to look back at that, and you're going to really enjoy seeing those pictures and bring back a lot of memories. Don't just put them on your phone and forget them.
Well,
print them out and put them somewhere where you can see them.
I had that exact thought this morning because so many of my pictures are just stored on a hard drive somewhere, and they're not out for display. And I thought that's a real shame because there's so much life in there that
it is.
I mean, I've always put them every time I get a new phone and dump the old pictures into that hard drive. I'll look at them someday, but I need a photo wall.
It's real simple the way I do it. It's not fancy at all, but you know it's out there in the shop. But I'll just get a poster board and tape them to the put all the 3x5s or whatever size I got on the poster board till it's full, and then they will laminate it at Office Depot.
Yeah,
and now you got a laminated, you know, with probably I think 20 or 30 pictures on there.
Wow.
yeah,
And it started out with one or two. And just the fact I saw how often everybody was looking at them, and people come over who's never been over there before, start looking at these pictures, and they're mesmerized by it. So.
That's cool.
Speaking of pictures that I love, there's a picture of me and Rogers from our George Floyd activation, pre-pandemic. We're both beardless.
Beardless, yeah.
And we look so much younger. In full
that wasn't
life.
that long ago either.
It was not that long ago.
We're not
I know.
aging very well,
but it was to look back on it now. It's like, man, what a time!
Yeah,
and it both wasn't that long ago, and in some ways it was. You know,
yeah.
But every time I see that picture, it brings a smile to my face because
it just brings that memory.
We've lived so much life since then, and
I think that's what I appreciate. The group, the comms team, is you guys are always taking pictures of stuff. There's always pictures, and they're not all just staged. There's a lot of just candidness, which is some of the best stuff. Which that picture with us was basically just kind of candid in the moment.
Yeah. You had your PIO vest on,
the bright yellow vest.
Such a day. I think we're getting towards the end here. One more. You got a question, comment, concern, sarcastic remark?
Chief, you had told me about something about like skydiving or something like that.
No, I told you I hated skydiving.
I thought you said you liked skydiving.
No, I have lists of things that I want to do once.
Oh, like ride a bull.
That wasn't on the list. No, maybe I can put it on the list. No, just some things that I didn't want them to develop in a hobby. Just something you wanted to mark off. Skydiving was one of them.
Okay.
Oh wow!
I did go skydiving with some officers did PD one time. They say that. Well, first we get there and we're all signed up, and we have to wait a couple hours because you got to they're going to strap you to somebody who knows what they're doing. So they got to set all that up.
They won't let you just jump out of a plane.
Yeah, they would push you out of the plane. But we're sitting there watching. All of a sudden, I see this parachute come down. Like it's not out. It's just it never opened up.
Oh, good Lord!
And a bunch of four-wheelers and stuff started taking off towards this parachute. I'm like, so I asked somebody, "What's going on?" One of the parachutes didn't open, so they had to cut away their parachute and open up the reserve. And it was somebody that was going out for their first time.
Oh, good Lord!
Man. So the instructor had to cut that off, and I'm like, well, how often does that happen? Because I'm sitting there. This is my first time, and
sure, don't want it to be your last time,
right? And they said, oh no, it's no big deal. Like once every 10,000 times. I'm like, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Don't like those odds.
But to tell you how smart I am, I still did it. I still got out there. And they say you can't tell you're falling. What is it, 120 miles an hour or something straight down because there's nothing around you. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. I knew exactly what it was. So I hit the ground. I'm like, okay, you mark that off the list. I'm
Never again.
I'm not ever doing that again.
Well, what else is on the list?
I did do a marathon. I ran a marathon once.
Dang.
Nice.
Yeah, and I swore I would never do that again, and I haven't. It's just one of I ran cross country and track, and a lot of events after that. So I ran a lot of miles, but I'd never ran a marathon, so I wanted to mark that off the list. So I did the Houston Marathon one year.
I have no desire to do that whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't anymore either. In fact, I wouldn't even suggest it.
I got that Tim McGraw song, skydiving.
Yeah.
Like Rocky Mountain
climbing?
climbing.
I have done some Rocky Mountain climbing.
And marathoning?
But
2.7 seconds on a bull. Hey,
That's
we'd
what.
say
That's
just
probably
saying,
what made me think.
doesn't
of that.
even have to be the full 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Just 2.7.
The MS 150. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh, yeah,
the bike ride to Austin.
Yeah.
It's more than 150 miles. I learned that the hard way. It's actually closer to 200.
Oh, good Lord.
And I did that on, I think, a Huffy Walmart bag
Stop.
with
For real?
with knobby tires.
Oh, no.
Yes.
But did you wear the outfit?
Yeah.
No, I'm sure I had to.
Just sweatpants and Crocs.
Just
So
coasting across.
that you didn't even train for that. You were just like, yeah, I'm gonna ride 200
I
miles.
rode
on
to
a bicycle.
Bastrop State Park. Not Bastrop. What's the one with the alligators and everything?
Brazos Bend.
Brazos Bend. I rode to Brazos Bend one time.
You're like, yeah, I can do
other
this.
than that, yeah, I was just so me and a couple guys from work did
That's
it.
awesome.
And
Dude, I won't even do 200 miles on my dirt
it was
bike.
2 days, so you stayed the night in Bastrop.
That doesn't make it any better.
No, it didn't, because the hills in Bastrop are crazy.
Yeah.
But I remember I was struggling I struggled from the moment I started. But the second day I was really struggling. I had a headwind. I'm barely moving fast enough to stay upright.
Yeah.
And this guy comes cruising by me on probably a $10,000 bike. And he's like, "This your first time?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "My first."
What gave it away?
Yeah, I said, "This my first and my last time." He goes, "No, you're tired now, but you'll do it again." I have not done it again.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
That's funny.
but yeah, stuff like that. I just like to test myself physically to see if I can do it. But then once I do, and so my boys and I had done this before, but my boys and I just hiked the highest peak in Texas.
I wanted to do
out of
that.
Van Horn, yeah.
Yeah. It's is it Davis Mountain? It's not Davis Mountain. It's
I think it is the Davis Mountains, Mount Guadalupe.
yeah,
Guadalupe
Mount
Mountain.
Guadalupe. Yeah, that's right.
And that's a pretty good hike.
Yeah, that's
pretty
pretty
good.
far. It's 7,500. No, it's higher than that.
It's a little over. No. It's only about 5,000
I'm
and something.
sure
but it's the highest point in Texas.
Place
They
in
have
Texas,
a nice little monument at the very top of it. So we did that, and that was I did it 13 years ago with some guys at the PD. If you notice, I do a lot of stuff with the guys at the
Sure.
PD, and that was much easier 13 years ago than it was. My boys were waiting on me quite a bit, because that was just like a few weeks ago that I did that. So I'm not sure I'll be doing that one again at this point in my life with the knees and everything. But
I do want to do that. We were not that far from. Well, we were there almost the same exact time. You were at the hot springs the day after I was there.
that's true. That's the same time I was out there.
But we didn't do. We spent a little bit of time in Balmorhea, and so we did the Davis Mountains and Marfa and all that. But we weren't prepped to hike long, high.
Right.
And in fact, we hiked from the top of Davis Mountain down to Fort Davis, I think is what it is. And my wife was looking for an Uber to get back to the truck because she was like, "I'm not walking back that." I ended up going back up and getting the truck and driving down and getting them down there. But I do want to go back and do the Guadalupe Mountain.
Yeah. I also in this. I don't know if you remember what the Relay for Life is. So it's raising money for cancer,
Yeah.
and you get a team together and you walk from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's a 12-hour deal, but you're supposed to do it as a team. You walk a few hours, somebody else walks a few hours. They asked me to put together a team one year, and I didn't get around to doing it, so I was my own team. So I walked the full 12 hours.
What?
Yeah, at the old high school stadium. It's at
Presner.
Yeah.
Dang.
Everybody else had teams out there in tents and everything, and I'm just walking around, walking in circles for 12 hours. Yeah. So the next year I put together a team.
I was
Got
gonna
some
say,
people to
yeah.
help me.
Figured it out.
The next couple of years, that was the last time I did that too.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that was a long night.
Yeah, I would say so. Do you know how far you walked? Did you keep track?
No, I have no idea.
Maybe you've run 2 marathons. Maybe you've done 2 marathons. You just don't realize.
Accidentally.
I may have. But that was a great community service thing. Is having the police out there. 'Cause our honor guard was out there. In fact, I just saw a picture. Chad was out there for the honor guard to kick things off every year. So it's great to see the officers involved in the community like that. And our team, when I did get a team, was called Cuffing Cancer. We had a big sign and everything, some handcuffs out there. So
maybe when you do a podcast, it can be called "Live Like You're Dying." You can just cover all your great things that you do one time.
Each one's a story about something he did.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of good episodes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
We can add to that list if you want. I've got some really bad ideas.
I'll listen to some of them, but I don't think the bull ride's going to be one of them.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I don't know why I've got it stuck in my brain, but I'm confident I could do it. And then I see the bull riders do it, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. And then as soon as I'm not watching bull riding, I'm like, yeah, I could totally, not well, but I wouldn't die. You know what I mean?
You might.
I know, and that's the thing. But in my mind, I'm like, I'd hop off and I'd just be trucking towards the gate.
Yeah.
The Slick Rock Challenge in Rock Springs, it's just bull riding, and they have this little like carnival around it, and they have the sketchiest mechanical bull, and all it has is like a horn that you hold on to, and that's it. And I can't even do that well. No. That guy flicked me off of there like there was like I was nothing. Yeah. And yet in my mind I'm like, yeah, 2,500 pound bull all day long. I can do that.
No.
But I'm too old for it now. There's no I can't risk breaking a
Yeah, the recovery
yeah
is much different the older you get.
Extreme downhill mountain biking. Would you have you done that? Would you do that?
I would consider that. I would consider that.
It's got to be the same bike, though.
Yeah. You got to get that old Huffy.
I don't know what happened to that bike. Somebody said that those knobby tires slow you down like 4 miles an hour. I'm like,
I believe that. Crazy. I can just hear.
I got a picture of it somewhere. It's pretty bad.
Oh man, that is amazing. Well, I can't wait to see all that. You're gonna have to. You have to have some way to document things so that we can follow along as you go through your retirement phase.
Polaroids, man.
Yeah.
On social media. You're gonna have to actually see the picture on the wall.
Yeah.
We'll follow along.
Yeah.
Well, we should just do a documentary of Johnny Lee.
We'll do it.
Johnny Lee on the run.
On the run.
On the fast walk. I won't be running.
Well, we do appreciate you taking the time to do this. We do like to always close these with, why we do what we do. You've done this for 36 years. I'm sure that's evolved over time.
Sure.
But what's been your motivation for your work here? Like, what's the thing that got you up every day? And
well, the pride of it. Always been extremely proud to be a Pearland police officer. I couldn't believe it. For years. I'd be putting that uniform on and I'd look down and see that police patch, Pearland Police patch, and I'm like, I can't believe, that I actually get to be a Pearland police officer. So that always drove me to be better and to make our department proud and our community proud. And then as I, grew in the department and, promoted and things like that, it's more about, making sure that everybody else knew about that pride and invest in their community. I try to preach that as much as I can, as being involved in your community. You can't just police these people. Mm-hmm. You have to be partners with them. And then, being chief is it's such a rare opportunity that I've been given, and I didn't want to take that for granted for a minute. There's not going to be very many people on this earth that are going to be able to say they were Pearland Police Chief.
Sure.
And that's something that I've always valued and taken pride in, even, on the days that are tough. I'm just extremely honored that I was able to have that position in this city and that responsibility and everything that goes with that. And I didn't want to take that for granted for a minute. That's been my why. It's something that I know there's not a lot of opportunities out there to do that. Mm-hmm. And I was given that opportunity and wanted to make sure I did the best job I could do. And that's what I've tried to do.
Mm. Well, I'll tell you what, we are honored to have you, and I mean, we're a better place because of you.
Thank you.
Agreed.
And it's gonna be a hard day. Derek's gonna be great, but it's gonna be tough, regardless.
Yeah, I've full confidence in.
Yeah,
We're talking about Assistant Chief Derek Dunham. He's gonna be the chief towards the middle of June. He's already been confirmed by council and city manager's office and all that. But yeah, he's a little bit younger. Drives an electric car, electric truck. And
looks like he's 12.
drinks coffee that I don't understand how you even order. But so it's a little bit different. First millennial chief, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some changes, I'm sure.
Good stand-up dude. Gonna be different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great human being. Human being. He's you got to care about your community first and the people that you work with, and he definitely does that. So
Yeah. I just don't know how he stays so skinny.
that might change.
Yeah.
I used to be skinny and have hair.
I'm worried about the hair with him. Like if the hair is going to stay.
Yep.
That'll be the true test. We'll
Yep.
see.
That's interesting. We should track that over time. I'm just going to put a Sharpie mark on his head.
Not even tell him what we're doing.
Yeah.
Just go in there like every 6 months and just like
Check it again.
pictures.
Check
Oh,
this
we're
out.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Well, thank you. Thanks
Thank
everybody
y'all.
for listening out there. And when you see Johnny Lee on the bowl, make sure to cheer him on.
And call an ambulance.
Call an ambulance. Yeah. All right. We will see y'all next time.
All right. Thank y'all.